I've never been this angry.
Just got done reading all my YouTube comments for my 4.2 story quest reaction, and I just got finished doing about 60% of the Arlecchino quest, which was so bad I wanted to shoot myself. Imagine how fun it is to have a Arlecchino quest where you don't get to talk to Arlecchino. You're stuck.
What the fuck does that even mean? You don't talk to Arlecchino. You don't talk to Arlecchino. What the fuck? It's a story quest of the character. Isn't the whole point of you doing a story quest is you get to basically quote unquote hang out with said character? He explains it. Okay.
Talking to children the entire time, and the entire quest is spoiled for you by a trailer they put out weeks prior. Very.
Okay, so you talk to the children and you're already spoiled because of the, I'm going to assume, the Genshin anime thing, which I do want to talk about.
Very fun. So here's something great, and then I want all of you Genshin Impact players to understand this. Making content for your game is absolutely miserable, and there's a reason why your game is dying. Okay.
Yes, the making content for Genshin is miserable. That's why you see me sprinkle around some Honkai Star Rail here and there, because just being locked to just Genshin, yeah, no, I'm sorry, no. Because there's a lot of dumb... I don't mind constructive criticism in my comments. Those are always welcome. But some people are just over there to defend for literally no reason. That's why I'm happy with a lot of unsubscribers. I'm like, yeah, get the fuck out of here, please.
Genuinely. There is a reason. There is a reason why myself, a guy who doesn't even like your game, has more viewers than the people who love your game. And
it's because you crank it live on stream. It's because people are waiting for when you start cranking. That's why you have more viewers.
And that's because you are a miserable community to make content for.
Yes.
Genuinely. If I don't play the game the way that you don't want me to play it, you bitch. If I do a story quest and I don't have it underneath 100% reading comprehension, you bitch. If I miss...
I'm not gonna lie, chat. Type 1 if you enjoy streamers reading story. Type 2 if you don't enjoy streamers reading story. Thank you. I feel like it's such an L take, and a lot of streamers like to read it out loud. I'm like, I want to leave now.
If I don't pay attention, you bitch. It teaches the players to not pay attention.
That is true. Minus the skip button.
Why Genshin Impact teaches its players to not pay attention to the story is very simple.
In repetition.
So the reason why when you're reading the quest and you're doing the quest, it actually teaches you to not pay attention. Let me explain. So the reason why...
there we go. This is literally why you don't care about Genshin.
And I have to reread it because I wasn't paying attention is because it teaches you to not pay attention. Let me explain. Paimon! So what he's saying is that you're not paying attention because the game teaches you not to pay attention. Let me explain. So when it double speaks, it's saying the same thing twice. Let me explain. And that is an example of Genshin Impact writing. It says one thing. It repeats the first thing that was said. It repeats the thing it just said again. Then Paimon repeats what you just said. And then she repeats what you just said. And then she repeats what you just said again. And so
he lost me there.
10% of your dialogue is actually important and 90% fucking isn't. And when you get used to the, I probably don't got to pay much attention anyways, they're just going to say it again 1,000 fucking times.
It can be a Genshin VA, true.
Boom, there you go. Look at how many Genshin Impact dialogue options there are that say the exact same thing 1 million fucking times. I'm human, and I can only pay attention to shit dialogue for so much.
That is true.
Genshin Impact is not a game with good pacing. It's almost like a high skill cap game to pay attention to because the writing is so fucking bad that it feels...
It wasn't just me. I wanted to say this take for the longest time, but I was like, maybe that's just me though. You know, maybe that there's no way, but it did start to feel like that around Sumeru, where the writing is just kind of ass though. Like, I'm like, okay, Fontaine, they kind of stepped it up a little, but like for a while, or like especially for the side quests, etc., like it's kind of ass. Like the writing isn't really there. I mean, look at Honkai Star Rail, like, or maybe hell, even Honkai Impact. Like people are still hooked in that story to this day.
And that's why all the people who enjoy the game so much skip all the fucking dialogue, and these lore and story explainers are held in such high regard because it's actually high skill cap to pay attention to this dog shit writing. It's terrible. And then
you need high skill cap to pay attention to the story. I mean, I can't even lie. When I was doing Arlecchino earlier, I wasn't really paying attention to what was happening. I'm like, can I get to the boss, please? I just want to fight the boss to get materials. Can I do that? Even though like they try to make it so that I give a fuck because it's gated through a quest, which means like you probably should pay attention because it may have something to do with a new zone, etc. I mean, it's kind of intriguing in a sense, but because there's no voice line, that's already a deal breaker. And because the text is still the same slow-paced text and no skip button, I'm sorry. I can't give a fuck about a talking cat that doesn't talk. I can't give a fuck about that. I'm sorry.
You say, yeah, well, you don't have these complaints in Honkai Star Rail. Yeah, that's because it's written good. In what other game do you actually have to try to listen to get this shit through your skull?
Wait, didn't the mods actually complain that leakers make story tough to write? It goes to show the level of dedication and like just how much they care about the reception of the story that they're willing to go that far and have the fucking heart monitor on the screen and show that they're pissed off because there's so much effort and dedication to making that story. It's like, bro, like there's obviously a difference here.
When was the last time, genuinely, when was the last time you actually saw someone play this fucking game and pay 100% attention to it and never get confused? It's fucking terrible. And the worst thing is, I'm trying to give this game another shot. But in like 1-2 streams, I remember why you fucking hate this game. And I fucking hate the community for this dog shit game so much. It's actually palpable. What a dog shit excuse for writing. What dog shit excuse for pacing. I wanted to go in.
The pacing is so trash, bro.
And the writing was so fucking bad.
Well, actually, Tectone, she's called Arlecchino. And the fact that you pronounce it Arlecchino gives you an immediate dislike. Ew, you don't even know what you're talking about. Pronouncing her Arlecchino. You dumb. You're nothing more than a bald dum-dum. And look at you looking at me like this.
Hey, low-key, Tectone looks kind of... He looks kind of cool like this. Look at him.
I just logged off the game. It literally lost them money by releasing that Arlecchino story quest. Fucking terrible. Who releases spoilers to their whole Arlecchino update for the Arlecchino story quest a week before it comes out?
Oh, no.
What am I supposed to do in 4.6?
Wait, why did they lose money, though?
Questions 4.2? Good God. Like, and the fact that people get so upset at this because I didn't play the game the way that you played it, because I didn't enjoy the game as much as you played it. Congrats, man. Go ahead and continue being the literal worst community for any game ever. Genuinely. What a bunch of stuck-up, pretentious little fucking retards this community has. Continue enjoying sucking each other's dicks on Twitter and talking about how great you are with your wholesome content creators that have all gone away due to mask-off moments, and you guys realizing that these people you praise are just as big of fake shitbags as you are. Genuinely. And I mean that. And I mean that. No one wants to cover your game. No one wants to play your game that isn't financially advised. Sorry to tell you. Sorry that you don't get that people are being paid to play this game when they have Genshin Impact partners put in their fucking title. Yes, just wait. All of these content creators that you like, the ones that you think are good, yeah, they're definitely not going to go play Wuthering Waves. Oh, yeah, there's no way.
So now, that's just a Genshin Impact copy. There's no way that game is going to be good. He's just talking out of it.
Yep. May 22nd. They're surely not going to go play Wuthering Waves. And here's the best thing. Here's the best thing, and here's what I can't wait for. When they go to play Wuthering Waves.
Yo, Badr, what's up, man?
and then all of them come back to Genshin to continue playing a game they fucking hate. They fucking hate, and they hate making videos to you douchebags too. Straight up, and I want to make this very clear. This isn't to everybody who plays Genshin Impact. You know the exact people who I'm making.
We know, we do.
Straight up. And then they all come back to Genshin Impact, and they continue slopping down this pile of pig the game. Garbage retard content. The game. Pathetic. Combat sucks.
Yep.
Story.
Wait, combat doesn't suck. It's just that you don't have anywhere to feel like there's a challenge. But
getting praise because I don't spend money.
I don't think combat sucks. I think combat is literally what even gives us remotely a way to even look at this game and be like, man, what a shame. It's definitely the combat. Why would I care about characters if the combat wasn't at all somewhat enticing? I would say the combat is okay. Characters are okay. Design's definitely good. But beyond that, it's all downhill from there. No, okay. When I say combat, I'm talking about the feel of the combat. Let me be clear. I'm talking about the feel of the combat. Like the way it moves, the smooth movements of the characters, it's good. It's really good. The skills, the ultimates, all that, I do feel like those are good. But beyond that, I agree the reactions can get boring. Just hit him with water, then hit him with fire, and then hit him, just keeps mushing colors, and you'll do big damage. Yes, I agree. But I'm talking about the feel of it all. I do think the feel of it all looks good.
Fucking sucks.
You do want to feel like you progressed enough that you can tackle.
You know what the worst thing was? 4.2 was some of the best story I've ever done in Genshin Impact.
Yep.
And still, 45% of that quest sucked ass. But it had good moments. I still don't know how people defend.
It's the build-up. I do feel like, again, like he said, the pacing. I do feel like pacing in Genshin Impact is kind of ass cheeks. I'm not gonna lie. And they understand that our conquests are basically the most important part of the pie when eating a new patch. Well, technically a new version of Genshin Impact, because like there's 4.0, there's going to be 5.0 as a new region. So the most important part of that pie when it comes to a new version of Genshin Impact in a new region is the Arc Conquest. So they gotta stall and stretch that shit as much as possible. Like I'm like, okay, sure.
Defend this shit. I don't. I don't know how people don't talk about this shit. I don't. And then you got to catch them on the live stream at 4 a.m. actually speaking their real mind. It is insane.
True.
It is genuinely insane how people defend this shit. The amount of
They'll keep defending it.
I feel for this game and its community. And more specifically, the vocal minority that are so fucking miserable that they go and they bitch and moan on every single post with baseless accusations. It is wild. 4.6. I'm good. It's a fucking trash update. And it pisses me the fuck off because I wanted to see 6 Arlecchino. I genuinely did. Genuinely, I did.
Look at the bright side. You get to save money.
But I can't deal with the Genshin regions again. I just can't. And the worst thing is, I don't think these people realize how much benefit I could bring to their game. Because I can. I'm the—
No, it's because you're toxic. You don't say only good shit. You bald, whatever.
only gacha content creator that has any reach outside of the gacha space. The only one. And they're just so fucking defensive.
Yeah.
They are so fucking pretentious.
These guys are like, you know when some animals, God forbid, I mean, those are animals, but like they're in a trap and they can tell the humans coming are trying to help, but they're still like, "Rrr, rrr." It's like, shut the fuck up. I'm trying to get you off here, okay? I'm trying to help you. Like the animal still's got to be defensive. Like, "Rrr, rrr." It's like, okay, that's okay for animals because that's like the instinct. But can you think, please? I mean, we're kind of animals, but not really. You have intelligence. Use it. Think, Mark, think. That's they're not marked. Apparently, they're not marked.
It is miserable. How in over 3 years has this community not gotten better? How for over 3 years do these dumb still fall for these over positive fake? I don't get it. I genuinely do not get it. Tectone is mad he's on HoYo's blacklist and not getting sponsored. Okay, so let's talk about this. So what you're saying is, we're gonna read this whole guy's message. So what
there
you're
it is in the
saying
chat.
the game tells you the same info 4 times in a row, and you still don't
Yeah,
understand
get him
it,
out of
or
here.
you can't pay attention to it with your ADD. If you are talking to someone and they continue to circle talk over and over and over and over again, eventually you are going to start learning to ignore them.
Yep. 100%.
Because they have trained you to not pay attention because it is no longer worth to pay attention. Projecting so hard. Please explain how I'm projecting. He keeps coming back to
If y'all noticed, Paimon keeps on yapping the same thing over and over again. Is the same with Tao and BML. There you go. Same thing.
implying that I'm in a bad state and I need money. Okay, let's pull it up. So this
That's such an L fucking take, by the way. He's doing great. He has businesses outside of content creation. He's already a fucking millionaire. Post taxes. He's good. Why the fuck would he need money?
that I have been. So no, I don't need fucking money from Twitch. We're gonna go to YouTube. We have made $20,000 from YouTube, which means I am making the same money as I always do, and the channel views are as consistent as they always are. So in total, we've made over $53,000 this month just from YouTube and Twitch. Full disclosure, I have
That's
made another
incredible.
$200,000 from sponsorships.
Yeah,
I
that's
have done a
true. We still
fuck
have
ton of
those.
sponsorships. In case you don't know, I have my own ad company. In case you don't know,
Oh, he has that too?
HoYoverse is one of the least paying sponsorships that you can ever do. So no,
Oh no.
you don't. And if you want it, if you
I thought the bag was high because the Actman, fucking Starman. I mean, I always thought the bag would be substantial. I don't know.
want, you can ask your other content creators, because your other content creators, the ones that you love so much, come to me and they
Yeah, it's like I always thought like because they made that big bag is why they're talking this much good shit. And Genshin Impact actively goes for big content creators that don't really have much to do with Genshin and get them to sponsor them. I mean, they got Charlie to talk about Honkai Star Rail. I mean, HoYoverse typically goes for big creators. So maybe they don't pay dick for people that are already covering their games, but people that are outside of the realm of their games but cover gaming as a whole, as in the spectrum of gaming, are maybe having a bigger bag. Who knows? I'm reaching here. I'm just talking out of my ass.
ask why the
But it
does
would make
HoYoverse
sense.
pay me dog shit for doing their sponsorships.
Because if you pay those guys a bigger bag, you are reaching in a pool of gamers that you would want to attract.
So no, actually coming to Genshin
I
is
think
not
Opera
for money
GX
whatsoever.
sponsors
I
are
do
quite
it because
substantial.
at one point I
from what I
fucking
heard.
loved this game, and I try very hard, and I hope very hard that they fix this fucking game, because
Same.
I loved this fucking game.
Yep.
We all loved this fucking game,
We did.
but it sucks fucking ass.
Yep.
It literally sucks so much ass. It's ridiculous. Now
Yep.
let me talk also about this. Tectone wants to get off the blacklist. Why would I want that? If I've said this once, I've said it 1,000 times. Do you want to know why I was attempting to get a contract for the preferred creator server? Because I was going to hire 3 lawyers. I have a team of lawyers, in case you don't know, to read that contract in order to make sure that my friends who have signed the contract have not fucked themselves over long term with any agreements. The preferred creator server assists guide makers. I do not make guides. I do not need to be a part of that server. I don't care whatsoever. Here's what I want for HoYoverse. I don't want, it's not that I care about being blacklisted. It's that I care when they're actively trying to harm the content that I am attempting to make. In case you don't know, I run this thing called the Gacha Podcast. And this is the part where I'm really bitter. Because I'm friends with a lot of the voice actors from the fucking game. But when I go to make a voice actor podcast and they all agree, and it's just as we're about to do it, they all ghost me at the same time because HoYoverse said they cannot interact with me. That's what pisses me off. I have no interest in working with HoYoverse. And I just want to not have to work
what the fuck?
To make content for their game that nobody else is fucking making. It's irritating, it's petty, it's small. But the good news is, I'll just make that content for Wuthering Waves. And it doesn't fucking matter. I'll just make that content for Azure
Hey,
Pavilion.
check him out.
It doesn't
That
fucking
easy,
matter.
bro.
Or
That easy.
even better, I just won't make the content at all. And do you want to know why? Because I don't need to make that content. And let me show you even more so why I don't need to make that content. We're going to go and pull it up. I talked to the VAs of Honkai Star Rail about an important issue. I did this to make sure that the HSR voice actors could properly voice their concerns. I got 147,000 views and I got $684. Guess what, everybody? Welcome to the... Guess what? It wasn't even the best gacha podcast that I ever did. I got more views on almost every other episode of the gacha podcast.
That is true.
I don't even want to do it for the views or for
the money.
I do it because I want to help support the fucking game. So
because he likes it. Simple as that. Imagine doing shit because you like it. Imagine doing shit and being passionate about something because you like it and you just want it to be better.
Every single point that you've made. I am doing this out of genuine love.
Oh, that doesn't make any
Problem
sense.
is, the outspoken part of the community is such pretentious, loud douchebags.
They are.
It drives me nuts.
They are.
Your and MTS content on Genshin is all about salty crying since the second month of the game. You want to know why? Because it's been all downhill ever since.
Yep.
You used to think you had integrity, unlike MTash, but you still keep coming back to Genshin for the views increase. It brings a new version. And you know what's crazy? Your mom keeps on coming back to my to suck that shit because she's praying to God to have another child because you yourself, her only child's a failure. Your mother screams for me to impregnate her every fucking night. Every night. She screams for my cum as I'm fucking her in her ass. Because she says, oh God, please let me have another kid. That way I at least have one child that's not a failure. But all he does is just White Knight Genshin Impact. Oh God, Tectone, please come in me so I can have a new baby. God, he's such a fucking loser. And you hear that shit as you cry and hug your Paimon body pillow. People are such fucking losers.
That exists? Wait, Paimon body pillows? Those exist? Oh, dude, Jesus.
Don't need the money. Don't need the views. Don't need the connection.
Yeah, he's doing great.
Genuinely, I'm trying to help this game get better.
Yep.
But doing this shit is so miserable because I have to deal with dipshits like whatever the that dumb name was. It is insane.
Yep.
How much this game pisses me off. Oh, why do you go off on random chatters? Why the fuck would I not?
That is such a W take. That is such a W take. Thank you. Yes, why the fuck would I not? What applies to you applies to me too. I can do that.
The amount of Genshin suckers there are is insane. Well, you didn't enjoy the game as much as me, which means you enjoyed it wrong. All right, Jack. You did it wrong, Becky. You did it wrong. I
think it's a case of, you know, when your friend shows you some shit and they invite you to try their game or try their favorite show, and then you're like, you don't like it. And then they go, what do you mean you don't like it? It's so good. No, you gotta understand. It's this, it's that, it's this, it's that. No, just wait for this season and it's gonna be great and such and such and such. That's very common. Thank you, common. That's very common. I feel like it's more of a human thing. And I notice it for myself too. Like sometimes I'm gonna be like, oh, what do you mean you didn't like it? It's so cool. I think it's very funny. And I would try to persuade, but I stop myself from doing that because I understand how that feels on the other side. So I had that I saw it. It's so cursed. Yeah, hey, Angel Chum for the win, bro. I do think he's killing it. He is in this video. Like, bro is emotional, but I think it's great.
Post a video to hopefully send more people to go play your fucking game, and you get pissed off.
Yeah.
And you know what the best thing is? I'm still going to do the Archon quest in 4.7. I'm still going to play the Archon quest in 5.0.
Yep.
You want to know
Same.
why? Because it drives these people insane.
And why not do it? And why not do it? Why not do it? You know what? No one can hate on this. Why not do it?
Now, I'm not going to do Arlecchino.
Story quests are trash. I would definitely keep doing Archon quests are okay for me personally. Story quests are just beyond ass cheeks.
I'm not going to do Arlecchino. That quest is ass. I'm done playing this next Archon quest. But I hope that I ruin your day each time I play this And I'm going to keep playing it. And I'm going to continue telling people how much it sucks ass. You want to know why? Because it does. Genshin Impact deserves better. But just like you, how you think you're such a good person because your friends come to you and they're crying and you tell them, oh, no, it's not your fault. Those kids ran too fast in the street. I mean, everybody should drunk drive once in a while. While you...
What the f? Oh, no. I was going to go with the... Oh, it's all his fault. You hear this a lot. Oh, it's all his fault. You're a princess, you're queen. He doesn't deserve you. He doesn't this. It's never the, what the f did you do? Wait, maybe you did such and such and such. Like, why would he just leave all of a sudden? No, all guys are the same. It's such and such and such. Like, bro, it's maybe she done f***ed up too. She's human. She can make mistakes, right? But they keep pushing this toxic way that will never allow the person that is just in that position to feel better. Oh, they're all hoes, bro. They're just these hoes ain't loyal, bro. She's for the streets. That's why she left you, man. These man. That's why I just coming down.
Sit and let your friend cry on your shoulder as they do something abhorrent and horrendous to the rest of the world's population, and you think
okay, that his example is kind of crazy.
You're being a good person. You think you're being a good person by being supportive. You don't realize how being supportive is one of the worst things that you can do when something has a problem. When someone's drinking alcohol every day, you don't say, oh, it's okay, you live your life. If you like it, then do it. There's nothing wrong with having fun.
Nope.
You send them to Alcoholics Anonymous to help them. Being supportive when someone has a problem is the literal worst thing you can fucking do. You're not a good person by doing that. You're horrible. Genuinely horrible. And you need to hear that. When your friends come, because this isn't about Genshin anymore. This is about who you are as a person. When someone has a problem and you support them by saying, you do whatever it is you want to do. You're
such and such and such. You're so brave.
No, it's not the truth. You're ruining their life. When you hear someone talk about a bad thing someone did, and you don't get both sides before saying the other person was the problem, you are now the problem. 4.6 sucks balls. 4.6 is straight dog. And the end game that's coming to Genshin Impact will also suck dick. If that
Type 1 if you knew for a fact 4.6 was gonna flop. Type 2 if you knew it wasn't gonna flop. Yeah. I didn't say it out loud because I was like, maybe I might eat my words. So that's why I said there's no hype. I did the video for Arlecchino. I was like, so that's it. That's all there is. Maybe I should have phrased it better as in 4.6, but I didn't want to. I was like, maybe they might cook something up.
That upsets you? Complain to HoYoverse. Don't tell me about it. I don't give a fuck. But while you sit there and you deny the fact that Genshin is in the worst state it has ever been in, and the character I've been looking forward to being released for over 2 years.
That's what I'm saying. That's literally what I was saying. It's like, bro, this much hype cannot be for a character that's been hyped for 2 fucking years, and people were looking forward to it for 2 years, and that's all there is. You did the Genshin animation with the Genshin anime. You did all this extra shit. And it's still, all it had was this much hype. That's it. I knew that it was gonna flop. And people came after me and was like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I know when you're looking in the streets, but there's a lot of hype for Arlecchino. Arlecchino isn't gonna do it. It's the same loop, stupid. Just listen to the video, you dumbass. But
comes out with one of the most boring, uninspired character quests that HoYoverse himself spoiled with a fucking animation 1 week before it came out.
Okay, now I know for a fact that I'm not going to do the story quest.
I wouldn't have watched that. But instead, I get art.
Oh, well, actually, Tectone, what you can do is now you get to go do the story quest and you get to imagine that the story quest is that animation. So it'll make it easier for you. Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Chino story quest, which is the biggest piece of dog shit I've ever seen. And these dumb f***s defend it. Actual f***ing insanity.
Yep.
They don't want things to get better. It will continue to get worse. I literally got these ungrateful f***s a change on the weapon banner, which is still dog shit. They still don't get how much good would come to this game if they were to just be constructive. There's my quarterly Genshin bitch. Yes, the game is still fucking terrible. And that's a shame coming off of one of my favorite story quests I've ever done in 4.2. I don't know what the fuck you guys have done for 4.3, 4.4, 4.5, 4.6, but if
It's simple. We didn't do shit.
I were y'all, I would be pissed. But instead, continue slopping down HoYoverse's.
Nah, I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'm not doing that. Yeah, I just pulled Arlecchino earlier. It didn't really do it. I'm good, bro. Yeah, there's not much to add, to be honest. I feel like every point that was brought up, we kind of gave our take. And there's not much to say. I feel like bro preached. The community is ultimately going to always be the problem with why HoYoverse is never really going to make a move. And that's going to continue being the way it is. Hopefully, like you guys said earlier, we can having different games that are doing the same thing as Genshin is might wake them the f, which it is. Let's face it, it is. The animation reminding us there's going to be a Genshin anime, giving us the most hyped up character, all that is definitely a way to try to counter, but it's still lazy. It's new Spiral Abyss apparently, still lazy. Let's see what happens. I think the only shakeup is we all move to Wuthering Waves and we make Wuthering Waves a good.
Looks like season of Genshin drama may be coming out very soon. I can't wait to see how they try to top the last season TGV9.
No, there's no way they top the last season. That season is never going to be topped. But Wuthering Waves coming out is going to have some toxicity like we see in certain Honkai Star Rail live stream chats. You see a bunch of Genshin dumb fucks there. You have the Wuthering Waves live stream, same as well. There's always like these toxic Genshin stands that are just out there trying to ruin anything that isn't Genshin, being total stereotypes, if anything. That's kind of hilarious to me personally. But like ultimately, Wuthering Waves is our last hope for Genshin to be good. And if that were to be the case, having both Genshin, Wuthering Waves, and Star Rail as games to play, that shit will be incredible. But we'll see, man. We'll see.